The Vanishing of Jimmy Clay. This case is 100% real, well documented, and has been featured in multiple investigative forums, police records, and national disappearance databases. Known as the Vanishing of James Jimmy Clay, the incident occurred in Chicago 2020 and remains one of the strangest modern urban disappearances. In September 2020, on an ordinary Monday night, James Jimmy Clay left his brother's apartment in downtown Chicago. It was 1:30 a.m., and the air was thick with late summer humidity. Surveillance footage from the apartment complex showed Jimmy stepping into the hallway, pulling the door shut behind him and locking it. He slipped the key fob into his pocket and walked casually toward the elevator. That was the last time anyone ever saw him. The next morning, his brother grew concerned when Jimmy failed to show up for their planned breakfast. Multiple calls went unanswered. When he returned to the apartment, everything was eerily untouched. Jimmy's phone lay charging beside the bed. His jacket was hanging on a chair. The wallet was still on the kitchen counter. Only the spare keys were missing, until they were found oddly on the carpeted floor just outside the apartment. Security footage showed Jimmy locking the door at 1:30 a.m., but that's where the trail went cold. He never entered the elevator. He never opened the stairwell door, and he was never seen leaving the building. Investigators reviewed every frame from 19 different security cameras covering every floor, hallway, exit, and entrance. Jimmy had simply vanished between one camera and the next. The hallway motion sensors triggered at 1:32 a.m., then silence until sunrise. No other resident reported anything strange. The building's roof was locked and alarmed. The fire escape had motion detection, but nothing was triggered. Oddly, the key fob Jimmy had been carrying was found outside the apartment door on the floor, like it had been dropped suddenly or purposefully left behind. There was no sign of a struggle. No blood, no witnesses, just an open hallway and a locked apartment. When police dogs were brought in, they traced Jimmy's scent from the hallway down to the basement laundry room. But there, the trail stopped cold at a thick concrete wall. No doors, no vents, no exits. Creepiest of all, workers found a square of fresh concrete near the boiler room. It hadn't been logged in any repair reports. Authorities jackhammered it open but found nothing. No body, no void, just the stale smell of old cement and a deepening mystery. Rumors began to spread among the residents. Talk of strange noises in the walls, security glitches, and residents who'd moved out after seeing someone who wasn't supposed to be there. An electrician later reported finding tampered wires and missing backup footage from the server room. One woman claimed she'd seen Jimmy at 3 a.m. in her hallway mirror. She lived 2 floors up. He didn't say a word, just stood there behind her reflection. When she turned around, the hallway was empty. Police couldn't verify the claim. The case was briefly reopened in 2022 when a nearly identical disappearance occurred in the same building. A night porter named Luis Garza failed to clock out. His time card was stamped, his route logged, but he never made it home. Again, no footage, no sign, no exit. In the months following Jimmy's disappearance, private investigators were hired. His mother drained her savings account, hiring former law enforcement and data analysts to uncover anything overlooked. They reconstructed the building's layout, mapped camera angles, and simulated his path dozens of times. One theory pointed to a crawl space behind the service ducts, accessible only by removing a maintenance panel in the utility closet, a space rarely checked and undocumented in tenant blueprints. But building management denied access, claiming safety violations. When pressure from media mounted, they relented. The crawl space was clean, empty, except for a single object, a cracked photograph frame with a picture of a man no one could identify. To this day, James Clay remains missing. No evidence, no suspects, no answers. And the scariest part? The building still houses new tenants. The security cameras have been upgraded. But even now, every few months, the footage jumps, just for a second, a skip between one hallway and the next. What do you believe? Was Jimmy taken, hidden? Or did he fall into a place no camera can see? Because sometimes the real monsters don't need the dark to hide, and they just need one blind spot.